Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, December 6th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I take time to balance my perspective from my inner yin and my inner yang. So today we have Mars going retrograde. The inner yang energy is tuning within. It is going retrograde in the sign of Leo. It will be retrograding back into Cancer, right, in the first week of January, and will be retrograde all the way until February 23rd. So for the next basically 2.5 months, our action energies are going to slow down a little bit. As I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, so our action energy is like kind of tuning within. And instead, we're going to be leaning into the yin and leaning into our attraction energies instead of our action energies. So this should be interesting. Any retrograde, while it can cause shenanigans, it is a review, and it's a tuning within. It's a chance to make a change. It's a chance to make a shift. And so with this, we want to change how we're taking action in the world. My feeling is with Mars retrograding in the sign of Leo that we want to renew our love actions, renew leading with love, renew renew aligning our alignment with what we actually love. This is a chance to reconnect with our inner child. It's a chance to reconnect to love. It's a chance to reconnect to joy and let those energies help lead and guide us. Now, this retrograde is not going to be solely in the sign of Leo. It is going to retrograde in in just about a month. The first week of January, it's going to retrograde back into Cancer. And that's going to call us to dig a little deeper into our feelings, and dig a little deeper into our nurturing energy, show up for ourselves in different ways. But for now, we're going to focus on this retrograde in Leo. Now, this can definitely surface some hidden reactionary energies. Mars can be very reactive. Mars is action. And sometimes it can be that reaction. And in a fiery sign, it definitely has a little bit of a fiery fuse. With it retrograde, while we will be looking within, we may find little things bubbling up that we feel reactionary about. We may feel a little bit more tender when it comes to love and being loved. We may find our inner child feeling reactionary around feeling loved, or specifically not feeling loved. So we want to be really aware of our inner child and those reactionary energies coming up. Now, this can be a really great time to process them, as again, it's a great time for tuning within. So see where you can do that. Now, what I think will be challenging during this Mars retrograde is it will be meeting with Pluto. So Pluto is newly in Aquarius. And so a little under a month, we'll have Mars and Pluto in an opposition. If you remember, we just went through that few weeks ago, and it definitely was very tense. That was in Cancer and Capricorn. Here we're going to have it in Mars and Aquarius. So it's going to be a different vibe, but still has a little bit of that pull. But for now, if you can tend to yourself, tend to the inner child, tend to the parts of yourself that you don't feel loved or are not worthy of loving, I think you can bring so much healing to yourself. And that's what I think so many of these transits are about, is just, I don't know, helping bring our awareness to these pieces, and especially when we have multiple times running over it. Yeah, dig in and see what's showing up there, see what's going on there, but watch for the reactions. Also, I think this is a beautiful time to have a conscious slowdown. Mars retrograde, again, kind of quells our action energy. And we can get a little like, with, you know, planning for the holidays, but winter in the northern hemisphere really is a beautiful time to slow down and chill. And so to consciously slow down, chill, and lean into your yin, lean into the attraction vibration should be a really interesting thing. Now, I find it very interesting that we actually have Venus today shifting signs. Venus spends most of the day at 29 Capricorn, which definitely gets things done. You know, Venus in Capricorn makes a decision and then, you know, is prepared to walk the talk and do the thing. But we're having Venus shift into Aquarius late tonight, and Venus in Aquarius is definitely here for the vibes. Like, Venus in Aquarius is like, I'll do it when I get to it. For now, like, I'm digging these vibes. We're going to talk actually about Venus in Aquarius tomorrow, but I just think it's very interesting. You may find yourself today trying to get everything done between Venus at 29 degrees and Mars before it goes retrograde. What time does it go retrograde? Let's see. It goes retrograde at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. You may feel it earlier, you may feel it later, you may feel it on the dot, but watch and see if you're like trying to get the things done. But once it goes retrograde, see if you can lean into the vibration. See if you can lean into your attraction energy. Now, it doesn't mean that like we're going to lie in bed for the next 2.5 months. It's not going to be it. But I think we're going to lean a little bit more into rest and into receiving, and a little less into I have to do. I have to make it happen. One of the things that popped into my head when I was looking at the astro is a song. It was different in my head. The song actually goes, "How did I get here?" Which there's 2 songs that are now playing in my head that say that. One is Odessa and the other is Talking Heads. How did I get here? So we have a chance again to like look at the choices, look at the actions that have brought us around to where we are. I think at certain points in our life we're like, I'm how old and how did I get here? So look at this and notice where you chose the path of love and where that worked for you, and maybe where you chose the path of love and where you don't feel like it worked as well. But also look where you didn't choose the path of love and where that brought you. I feel like the universe always has ways of getting us where we need to go, but I think sometimes we make it hard on ourselves, and sometimes not choosing the path of love and joy can be a really rocky path. And again, I think this is a reconnection to the path of love, to the path of joy, to recognizing that energy, that light within ourselves. To remembering how to have fun. Oh, I saw such a great quote by Osho the other day that was like, the trees are having fun, the birds are having fun, the flowers are having fun. Like, have fun, enjoy yourself, because all of creation, all of nature is finding a way to be in joy, to be in that fun, to be in the light. I think that's one of my favorite things that I've learned is like, how many animals wake up and pay homage to the light. And I see that in my cats. Luce loves to sleep. My little Taurus Scorpio, she loves to sleep. She loves a cave, but she's usually up a little bit before I am and sits and waits for the light. She waits for the sun. And then she goes back to bed because she knows how to do life well. But I appreciate that. And there's so many other animals that pay homage to that. And I think that's part of this Mars retrograde, to remember the light within us echoing, mirroring the light outside of us. Venus, 29 Capricorn all day today. Make decisions today that are worthy of you. Make decisions today that remind you that you are worthy in and through these energies. So just keep that in mind in the background as this Mars is going retrograde. We also have the moon finishing up, building to a finish in the sign of Aquarius. So again, we're kind of finding the vibes. We're learning to surf the vibes. One of the cards I have today is going with the flow, and just noticing, taking a notice of like what vibrational energy you're in, and like, is this a vibrational energy you want to surf? We can change these things with such a slight shift, and then become that light that I mentioned, right? And sometimes it just takes that awareness. We also have Mercury today. Mercury's been doing the most, right? Mercury today squaring Saturn in Pisces. Mercury's retrograde. Saturn's direct now, right? Yeah, Saturn's direct now. Mercury's retrograde. Mercury's still learning. Saturn wants to give a few lessons, but watch where you put the shouldiness on it, because I think sometimes the lessons from the universe are pretty innocent. We're like, oh, it's pushing my buttons again. And we make it so much harsher than it has to be. Let the lessons be light. So much about light today. Moon and Uranus also squaring a little bit today. Not squaring a little bit, they're squaring fully. Moon in Aquarius, Uranus and Taurus could get a little edgy. It's interesting because what pops into my mind is today, California got the tsunami warning from that big earthquake that happened in the ocean. Everything was fine from what I've seen, but definitely heralds some of that energy. You know, as electrical beings, I feel like sometimes we can build up this energy and it needs a release of some sort. If you find yourself breaking things, shorting out electronics, dropping things repeatedly, bangs happening, stuff like that, that is energy trying to release itself. And sometimes we can do it ourselves, like, you know, shaking the sillies out or whatever. Keep that in mind today, because you might need some releases, and that might also help with this Mars retrograde energy. Alexa has turned off the light on me. She does not want to, but look it, I'm still radiant. I don't need the Alexa light. I am the light. Anyway, see, here I am, the sharing, Queen of Wands, finding our flow, clinging to the past. I think that this is probably going to be more Mars into Cancer, where we're releasing old stuff that we've held on to, things that we need to forgive, but it may start coming up for you now. It may, or it might. Mate. So watch where you're holding on to some old grudges and where you can bring healing, flowing energy. This is about creating new flows, and love can help with that. Oh yeah, I have a card. Excuse me. I have the Lover's card, which in this deck is mistletoe. And it has some really nice things. It talks about, it's tempting to associate this card with attraction and love between humans. And it can indicate potential for love. But it's also a card that it implies that what is required is self-love and the union of opposites within yourself. So that goes back to the yin and the yang energies that I was talking about. And I really feel like, you know, Mars in Leo may make us feel hungry for outside romance, outside attention, but we can always romance ourselves, and we can definitely, I don't know if romance is the right word, but give attention to our inner children and really find new balance and harmony within ourselves. It says the mysterious hand reaching from above asks you to consider external forces that may well be impeding or interfering with harmony required to balance any given situation. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that there for now. That balance within yourself, the power of your attraction energy, really leaning into that and seeing what that means. Where is your Venus in your chart? And how are you utilizing that? Instead of leaning so much into the Mars, we lean so much into our Mars. So I'm going to leave it there for today. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. I do have gift certificates for the holidays if you'd like to buy somebody a reading for the holidays. 2025 year ahead readings. I'm going to begin those after Mercury goes direct. So stay tuned, but reach out if you'd like one. And besides all that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.